for the world, 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 world.
I started off with soul dancing with the salsa, and then when I saw the lockers, and I think it was 1972, and I saw Tony Basil do what the guys were doing, and then when she did her solo, she was feminine and did her style of dance. I got very excited and I wanted to learn that dance, and that's what kind of started me going toward locking first. And then I went with each dance that followed suit after that, but I actually went right into whacking right after. But it wasn't called whacking then, it was just a dance lifestyle that the gays did in the gay clubs.
And we can say that you are the first female locker?
No, Tony Basil was. First
Tony
female
Basil.
locker. But I was the circuit dancer, because by the time I started going, she wasn't really going to the clubs anymore, so when I came, they looked at me that way because I did the contest and I did the circuit scene of the female being able to do all the moves that the guys were doing at the time. And Tony just did a little bit of the locking, but she was a trained jazz, ballet, tap, so many dance styles she does, so when she danced, she involved all of that. But she also did the locking first, because she's the one that inspired me.
And you've been in breakdance.
Yes.
How much do you think breakdance defunded the culture of hip hop?
Well, it's interesting because I think every time in society they categorize us in a certain category. And, I was a locker when it was locking. But then when I went to other styles, it was also, we're hip hoppers, and also we're break dancers. So society kind of titles it because they don't know. So, but I really don't break dance. I learned to break dance a little bit from Sugar Pop and his brother Jason, but I hurt my back doing it, so I said, I don't think a lady has to always do that kind of thing, so I steered away. But I like the direction and the positiveness of it, and you gotta excuse my voice because I lost it yelling at the competition last night. I like that street dance is elevated in the sense of it's worldwide known, where before it was more club dancing and you really didn't see it in public too much. And I was lucky enough to be hired to open shows and not be a backup dancer as a street dancer. So my timing of it was like the best. The music was perfect. We broke in something that nobody knew, and we weren't in the background. We were actually opening for Tina Turner and people like that. So we were professional dancers as street dancers. So to see where it's gone now is a very beautiful thing. That's why I enjoy teaching it now, because I want to be able to hand down and have people remember what I did back then that I never stopped doing, that I grew with, to the kids that want it now. So it's really beautiful.
And in Europe, I don't know if it's the same in the US, but locking is losing a little bit of public or the audience, and whacking is acquiring more.
Yeah, I'll tell you, it's funny. When locking came out, they said it was a fad. I think they're wrong.
Yeah,
But all street dance, when a new dance comes out, always gets overpowered by the other dance. But I was teaching whacking. I started teaching in 1989, and I haven't stopped. I did it when it wasn't popular, but the kids were still doing it. But I got a lot of trained dancers that were doing it because they wanted some kind of a street angle at the auditions. So they would take my class, and the street dancers were always doing the trendy dances, so it always comes back around. So locking faded out, actually breakdancing came, whacking came, punking, posing, robot, all these other things got popular, but it never stopped. It was still going on. You just didn't hear about it that much because it's always what's hip and what's happening at the moment. But if you look around the room, competitions aren't about one style of dance, it's about all of them, because they all live within us still, and we all use them in every way we can. So even though you don't hear about it, it doesn't mean that it faded out. Just like we don't hear about swing and two-step, but they still swing and two-step. You don't hear about salsa, but they do a lot of salsa. So it doesn't die out, it just gets a little bit faded in the public eye of the name of what's happening because something new's out. But it always comes back around. That's why it's street dancing. Street dancing feeds off of whatever is happening in the street. So there's always an influence of some other dance of street that brought in a new dance. That's what keeps street dancing alive, you know?
And do you think we should change maybe the music, be closer with the music to get a young dancer more interest in locking?
No, because when the lockers locked, they didn't say, "Oh, I'm only going to lock up this music." It's whatever music was happening is what happens. So I've had people say, I heard that when you whack, it should be off disco. That's not true, because they danced off soul and R&B. They danced off theatrical music. It's just what is exposed to the person that is telling the story. See, all dance should be able to dance off anything, especially if you want to work. Because you're going to work for an artist that is going to play something you don't like, but you have to be able to make them feel you like it to sell who you are as a dancer. So in reality, you should be able to dance off anything. What inspires you is one thing, what you work for is another. You should be open to all music. I'll dance off opera if they want me to, and I can do any style you want off of that, if that's what it calls for. My passion is R&B and soul, but I'll dance off anything, rock, whack, hip hop, pop, anything.
We have the honor to meet Greg Campbell Jr. in Italy. Can you please spend maybe some words to remember him for us, if you want?
Oh, okay. I'll try not to get emotional. But Camelot Jr. was the one. All the lockers, when I met them, embraced me because I wanted to dance so bad and I wanted to learn who they were, because they were all individuals. Even though they danced together as a group, they had their own style as individuals. So I got lucky because one of them happened to be Camelot Jr., who liked my sister. So when I got in the club and I snuck in, he was the first one I met, and when he found out that was my sister, I kind of had a little leeway there. And then once he got to know me, we hung out all the time. And he actually was the only one that really explained specific things of what made the dance, is Camelot Jr. And I tell people that all the time. I studied all of them. Don showed me how to work the hat, but he didn't break it down. He would just do it over and over for me to watch. Junior would say, do your hand like this. There's a reason. You want air pocket, and the reason for this. And he would explain to me, because he knew how much I wanted to learn it correct. He taught me how to dive off the stage so I wouldn't hurt my knees. He taught me how to round my back. He taught me power. So Camelot Jr., out of all of them, was the one that literally trained me in the locking style. So when I dance, I always give heads up when I'm doing a specific move, who that person came from, because to me it's important of history. And he's not here anymore, so I'm going to do it even more